celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with? He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life. Really? No, he's not so funny. He's very serious. He can act funny. But he isn't funny.
What you just heard from Martha Stewart, straight from Martha Stewart, about the Plantation Princess and the Plantation Prince, is bombshell. Despite the fact that we just learned Blake Lively is being sued again, there is a whole entire new lawsuit. This is like number 6, even though the lawsuit Justin Baldoni has against the New York Times and against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and then her complaint, and then Stephanie Jones's lawsuit. Some of them have been consolidated, the ones that involve Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni. But then there's the entirety with the Stephanie Jones suing Justin Baldoni. Well, now Blake Lively is being sued as well by Jed Wallace, who supposedly was included in her complaint. And he's saying that he was defamed. He was severely emotionally distressed and mentally distressed, and that he's never even met Blake Lively and has never even talked to her. And of course, Perez Hilton did a video on that. Supposedly he spoke to that man's attorney. So that is like 6 different official complaints or lawsuits that are going on. Okay, let's backtrack this. Blake Lively filed a complaint, a workplace complaint in the state of California, and she also filed one federally in New York City for whatever it has to do with the workplace, however that works. And from my understanding, for her to be able to move to lawsuit, they have to do an investigation up to 90 days and give her a writ, which then allows her to move to file for lawsuit because it has to do with the workplace. But I'm not a legal expert. That was just from my research and my understanding of that. But there's Justin Baldoni, who's suing the New York Times for $250 million because he lost out on a $250 million contract with WME, William Morris Endeavor, by being dropped by the biggest talent agency in all of Hollywood. And he's also suing them for defamation, libel, among other things, colluding with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and their team to smear campaign him and with malicious intent ruin his life, his livelihood, and his reputation. Then there's also Stephanie Jones, who is his former publicist, is suing him for breach of contract. And then we got Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, and Vision for defamation, emotional and mental distress, breach of contract, punitive damages, all that stuff he's asking for. Now there's a whole other one. Jed Wallace is literally suing Blake Lively for naming him, which apparently he has nothing to do with any of this stuff. Apparently he's never even really met her or talked to her. And I'm wondering if any of that's true, but Perez Hilton has a video because he spoke to his attorney to clarify this. So despite her problematic past of getting married at Boone Hall Plantation and being known as the Plantation Princess, it's also speculated that all them text messages to Justin Baldoni when she claims to be sick or that her kids were sick all the time, that those were times, and if you look at the timeline, it does add up, when Ryan Reynolds was not over in the UK dealing with his soccer team that he bought and owns, or that he was filming blah, 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 that she was pretending to be sick to call off days so that way she could be home with Ryan Reynolds. And then when Ryan Reynolds is over in the UK dealing with his team that he bought and owns, or he was off filming or doing some other kind of work, that's when she's acting very lovey-dovey and flirtatious and all of that in the text messages with Justin Baldoni. But what's really going on here is what a lot of people speculate. She started having real feelings because Blake Lively plays herself in every character she's ever been. And that's kind of true because she's talked about it in interviews. She also talks about in interviews for It Ends With Us that the way she gets into a character is through wardrobe and that she has a very expensive taste, but that's how she gets comfortable, and that she brought her own jeans and her husband's shirt and her husband's socks and Gigi Hadid's sweater, and she brought her own $5,000 pair of red bottom heels, and she brought her own skirt, her own Carhartt shirt, and all of these things to the set to play the character Lily Blooms because she was basing the character off of herself, apparently, bringing her own character. But she's also said that in interviews before, where she has talked about how she gets into a character because she's not good at submerging herself into the role and becoming the character, that she does it through wardrobe, that when she puts these clothes on, that's how she tries to get into the character. But essentially what she's doing is she's picking out her own wardrobe, her own taste. She's really basing it off of herself, and therefore the characters off of herself. Is there any truth to the fact that she could have really started to have feelings for Justin Baldoni and that he didn't reciprocate it? Because unlike Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni is a big, lovable puppy who does nothing but gush over his beautiful wife, Emily, and their children. And did that make Blake Lively jealous? Because Ryan Reynolds doesn't go to work on the set of Deadpool or go work with his soccer team and gush about his wife and children. I think she was really jealous of Justin Baldoni and his commitment to his wife, because we know that Ryan Reynolds was not only with and engaged to Alanis Morissette, he was actually married to Scarlett Johansson. And it's largely stated that Scarlett Johansson is the one that got away. Because Scarlett Johansson is beautiful, she is talented, she is smart, she has a bigger career than Ryan Reynolds. Blake Lively could never compete with Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is Ryan Reynolds' one that got away. And Scarlett Johansson conducts herself with integrity and class. And she's very smart. She's very well put together. She is incredibly nice. She has nothing but beautiful things said about her in Hollywood. I think Ryan Reynolds, he's very well got the public very much believing that the character you see in Deadpool, the funny, likable guy that all these men aspire to be like with the jokes and all of that, you guys actually believe that that's who Ryan Reynolds really is, that he is portraying himself and not a character. But what Martha Stewart just told you is that he's not really funny. He's very serious in real life. He's just good at acting funny. And that's what Deadpool is. It is nothing more than a character and a job for him. It is a character that he plays. And it is a script that is written and thought out by many people for years before the movie is even filmed. So really think about that. This likable, really sarcastic, really funny, really modern and relatable guy and character, is that really a reflection of who Ryan Reynolds truly is behind closed doors? Because what kind of middle-aged Caucasian couple gets married at a Southern plantation? I'll tell you who. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively do. But that's why I looked into this. And TJ Miller, despite all the BS surrounding him, trash talks Ryan Reynolds. He's deluded. He's insecure and he hates me. And he goes to talk about how he was snippy towards him. And he said to him, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me, but to me as if I'm Weasel. He's like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you just, you do just enough exposition that it's funny. And then we can leave and get back to the real movie. Sure is rifling, but that's exactly why he said that. Ryan Reynolds is a complete, total effing a-hole. Hugh Jackman gave Deadpool co-star some serious emotional damage with his best prank ever. And you don't have to look far to really find all of these Reddit threads and articles about how Ryan Reynolds truly is a prick. And that is putting it kindly. Then there's this. Even though Hugh Jackman and him have played Deadpool and Wolverine together in a movie, and they're said to be friends, there's some really serious stuff going on here. You want me to put this away? ? By Ryan Reynolds, co-star, mouth breather, asshole. Yeah, this guy. And it says, La confusion commence à la définition, which means that confusion starts at the definition.